What if I told you that the secret to getting everything you want isn't about wanting it more, working harder, or manifesting louder? What if the real secret is letting go of the one thing that's been blocking you this entire time? And no, it's not what you think. Here's what nobody talks about. You've been programmed to believe that wanting something badly enough will make it happen. That desperation equals dedication. That the tighter you grip, the more likely you are to hold on. But here's the brutal truth. Desperation repels exactly what you're trying to attract. When you need something to happen, when you're attached to a specific outcome, when you're white-knuckling your way through life, you're actually pushing away the very thing you want most. Think about it. When was the last time something amazing happened when you were desperately chasing it? When you were checking your phone every 5 minutes, refreshing your email, or lying awake at night wondering, when will it be my turn? I learned this the hard way. For years, I was that person who wanted everything so badly that I suffocated every opportunity before it could breathe. I wanted the job so desperately that I came across as needy in interviews. I wanted relationships so badly that I scared people away with my intensity. I wanted success so much that I burned out trying to force it. And then something shifted. Not because I stopped caring, but because I finally understood what I was actually holding on to. I was holding on to the outcome. I was attached to how things were supposed to look, when they were supposed to happen, and exactly how they were supposed to unfold. I had become addicted to control. But here's what I discovered. The thing you need to let go of isn't your dreams. It's not your goals. It's not even your effort. The thing you need to let go of is your attachment to how and when those dreams come true. Attachment isn't love. Attachment isn't commitment. Attachment is fear dressed up as dedication. When you're attached to an outcome, you're operating from a place of scarcity. You're telling the universe, this is the only way I can be happy. This is the only path that works. If this doesn't happen exactly as I planned, I'm doomed. But life doesn't work that way. Life is creative. Life is abundant. Life has 1,000 ways to give you what you want, but only if you're not blocking the flow with your death grip on one specific scenario. Think about water. Water always finds a way to reach the ocean, but it doesn't force itself through rocks. It flows around them. It finds the path of least resistance. But when you're attached to outcomes, you become the rock in your own stream. You stop noticing opportunities because they don't look like what you expected. You miss connections because they don't fit your timeline. You reject help because it doesn't come in the package you ordered. Here's the beautiful paradox. The moment you let go of needing something to happen, you create space for it to actually happen. When you release your grip on the how and when, you open yourself to possibilities you never even considered. You become available to opportunities that are actually better than what you originally planned. I've seen this happen over and over again. The person who stops desperately dating and focuses on themselves suddenly meets their person at a coffee shop on a random Tuesday. The entrepreneur who releases attachment to their specific business plan discovers a better opportunity through a conversation they weren't even planning to have. The job seeker who stops frantically applying everywhere gets offered their dream position through an unexpected connection. But here's what's really happening underneath the surface. When you're attached to outcomes, you're operating from your survival brain. You're in fight or flight mode, constantly scanning for threats, constantly worried about what's not working. And in that state, you literally cannot see opportunities that are right in front of you. Your nervous system is so focused on the danger of what if this doesn't work out, that it filters out everything that doesn't match your specific expectations. You develop tunnel vision. You become blind to the very things that could change your life. But when you let go of attachment, something incredible happens. Your nervous system relaxes. Your awareness expands. You start noticing synchronicities, connections, and opportunities that were always there but that you were too anxious to see. This isn't magic. This is energy. This is physics. This is neuroscience. When you're not radiating desperation, you start radiating confidence. When you're not grasping, you start receiving. When you're not forcing, you start flowing. But let's be clear about what letting go actually means, because this isn't about becoming passive or giving up on your dreams. This is one of the biggest misconceptions people have about detachment. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you become apathetic or lazy. It doesn't mean you sit on your couch waiting for life to happen to you. That's not detachment. That's avoidance. Real letting go means you still take action, but you're not attached to the results. You still work toward your goals, but you're not devastated when the timeline changes. You still care deeply about your dreams, but you're not willing to sacrifice your peace for them. It's like being a master archer. The archer focuses intensely on their target, draws the bow with precision, aims with complete concentration, and then releases the arrow with total trust. They don't chase the arrow through the air. They don't try to control its flight path. They trust their preparation and let the arrow find its mark. That's what letting go looks like in real life. You prepare intensely, you aim with precision, you take action with focus. And Then you release attachment to the outcome. Letting go means you trust the process more than you trust your anxiety. It means you trust your ability to handle whatever happens more than you trust your ability to control what happens. It looks like applying for the job without obsessing over the response. It looks like having the difficult conversation without needing to control the outcome. It looks like pursuing your dreams while staying open to them evolving into something even better. It's the difference between holding your goals with an open palm versus a clenched fist. When your hand is clenched, you can't receive anything new. When your palm is open, you can both hold what you have and receive what's coming. So how do you actually let go? How do you release attachment without losing motivation? Here's the roadmap that changed everything for me. First, separate your identity from your outcomes. This is huge. You are not your job title. You are not your relationship status. You are not your bank account. You are not your achievements or your failures. You are complete exactly as you are, and everything else is just an addition to an already whole person. When you tie your identity to outcomes, every rejection becomes a personal attack. Every delay becomes evidence that you're not good enough. Every setback becomes a reason to question your worth. But when you know who you are independent of what happens to you, you become unshakable. Second, focus on the feeling, not the form. This is where most people get stuck. Instead of being attached to getting that specific job, be clear about how you want to feel in your career. Instead of being attached to that person, be clear about how you want to feel in a relationship. Instead of being attached to that amount of money, be clear about what financial freedom would feel like. The universe is incredibly creative and can deliver that feeling in ways you never imagined. But if you're attached to one specific form, you might miss 10 other opportunities that could give you exactly what you're really looking for. Third, practice the art of decisive action with detached outcomes. This is the sweet spot. Make your best decision with the information you have. Take the action with full commitment, then release your grip on what happens next. Control what you can control and let go of what you can't. Fourth, develop what I call outcome flexibility. This means being crystal clear about your values and your desired feelings, but staying flexible about how they show up in your life. Maybe your dream career looks different than you imagined. Maybe your ideal relationship comes in a different package. Maybe your path to success takes unexpected turns. When you're outcome flexible, you can pivot without feeling like you've failed. You can adapt without losing your way. You can embrace plot twists without losing your peace. When you master this, everything changes. Not because you stop caring, but because you start trusting. You start moving through life with a quiet confidence that says, I know I can handle whatever comes my way. You stop second-guessing every decision because you're not attached to being right. You stop people-pleasing because you're not attached to everyone's approval. You stop procrastinating because you're not attached to perfect outcomes. But here's what really shifts. Your energy completely changes. People can feel it when you're operating from attachment versus when you're operating from alignment. Attachment feels heavy, desperate, needy. Alignment feels light, confident, magnetic. When you're attached, you show up to job interviews trying to convince them you're worthy. When you're aligned, you show up as someone evaluating whether they're worthy of your time. When you're attached, you enter relationships hoping they'll complete you. When you're aligned, you enter relationships as a complete person looking to share your completeness. You become someone who takes action from inspiration, not desperation. Someone who pursues goals from excitement, not fear. Someone who receives opportunities because they're not desperately chasing them. And here's what's wild. When you stop being attached to getting everything you want, you often end up getting things that are even better than what you originally wanted. Because now you're open to receiving what's actually meant for you, not just what you thought you needed. I've watched this happen in my own life countless times. The job I didn't get led me to an opportunity I never would have discovered. The relationship that ended made space for something more aligned. The business idea that failed taught me what I needed to know for the one that succeeded. When you're attached to one specific outcome, you miss all the other ways life is trying to support you. But when you let go of attachment, suddenly you can see the bigger picture. You can trust the timing. You can embrace the plot twists. The secret to getting everything you want isn't about the wanting. It's about the letting go. Because when you let go of attachment, you don't lose your dreams. You free them. You free them from the prison of your expectations and the burden of your desperation. You stop being a needy energy that repels what you want and start being a magnetic energy that attracts what's aligned with you. Think about it this way. Attachment is like trying to catch butterflies by chasing them with a net. The harder you chase, the faster they fly away. But when you sit still and become like a flower, when you embody the peace and beauty that naturally attracts what you want, the butterflies come to you. The job that chooses you will be better than the one you were chasing. The relationship that finds you will be healthier than the one you were forcing. The opportunities that flow to you will be more fulfilling than the ones you were grasping for. Because when you're not attached to outcomes, you're available to miracles. You're available to synchronicities. You're available to the universe's infinite creativity in bringing you what you truly need. So here's your challenge. Pick one thing you've been desperately wanting, one outcome you've been attached to, one dream you've been white-knuckling, and just for today, practice holding it with an open palm instead of a clenched fist. Take the actions, but release the attachment. Do the work, but let go of the timeline. Care deeply, but trust the process. Drop "I trust the process" in the comments if you're ready to let go of attachment and open yourself to receiving what's actually meant for you. Because the secret to getting everything you want isn't about wanting it more. It's about wanting it less desperately and trusting more deeply. And when you master that balance, you don't just get what you want, you get what you never even knew was possible.